Hi everyone, Andragon with you. So today I would like to talk about our fight with KillArmy, that's a golden guild, and it happened at 15th of January, but I was kind of busy and that fight went straight into the night, so I'll make a look back into that date. And actually the last moment which I captured while I could control something that was already after 12. So that's the problem which they faced. They failed only one step. That was a card pack at our citadel. So they managed to remove everything except one location. And they were really sure they can do it, and in fact they could not. So that's the plan of their attack. Let me introduce now our plans for this fight. So here is our plan. I got locations with the most annoying players and then decided not to capture them. So I used a pessimistic plan here. Anyway, I didn't pretend to remove KillArmy from gold, but I wanted to collect a nice amount of points and have low risks. That's why I avoided Lighthouse, Foundry and Citadel. So among the players from KillArmy who I was kind of trying to avoid, I would like to highlight several players from that guild. So today I'll show you the fights with that players, but not all of them are presented here because we avoided them. Instead, I'll just comment their general thing. So today I'll try to make a short video because I know that many of you are tired of 30 minutes videos. So let's check what happened. First of all, we went to the bridge and we needed to remove Octavius. Octavius plays Earth, so to remove him, either Earth or Fire should be played. Obviously, I could do that, just start him, but Alex is also a good choice because he plays Araji, and Araji can effectively fight with Earth. At the same time, you see that his Araji is at the second position, so probably it takes some time to remove him. And the plan was just to deal enough damage so that another player could finish. So what happens here is they just swap totems, then goes Araji removing the front line, which is great. So another totem, exactly the timing of dying Araji, yes. And another shot from Eden straight into the totem, and here we go. So Alex managed to deal enough damage to Octavius, and that was good enough. I would like to highlight that he has a weaker totem, not just Titans. Then we have me versus Peter, so I could play Angus, but at that time I wasn't sure in my Angus. And here we have a super Araji, so low Angus dies very fast if your opponent plays a huge Araji. That's why I played a water team plus Ed. So it's a kind of water versus water team, and the opponent plays a hybrid team to be ready for each element. So here I tried to use a totem trick. I knew that my opponent plays a stronger totem than my own. That's why you see that I activated it only when I see that Nova is going to die now. I already collected percentage, which is kind of equal in power to the opponent's totem. And as a result, my plan was to remove enemy Nova. That's exactly what I did. Then I tried to remove someone else, and you see that no more Araji. It means I can use an Earth stack to finish this because Araji is no more and no effective damage. So again, comparison of our power. Then we have me versus Samantha, so she plays a fire team. Her totem is not as good as mine, and the main damage dealer you see that it's Eden, so she plays a hybrid fire team. Still, Eden made me suffer. I can't say it was a very easy fight because three super titans combine nicely, and you see that I got some huge hits from the opponent, so that was not an easy fight, but I managed to win this. I understand that you would say my power is less, but still my totem is more powerful, so kind of nice fight. Then we had Highlander versus Samantha. I'll show you just some of the fights, not to get too much time for my video. So here we had more power. I used ODH team versus Lars Krista team. The opponent was ready to fight with Hellios against Yasmine because we play a lot of Yasmine teams, but as a result, I just did not send Yasmine there. And versus Toby, the situation is pretty same, so I went a character which is very powerful just to make sure that we don't get some from Jorgen or something. So it was a cleanup from Highlander. Then went Lord of Cats, so Lord of Cats finished Peter, and he also finished Octavius, so exactly according to my plan. We erased the opponent from the bridge and went straight forward. So next fights are about Termit. Termit had to fight with fire. You see that his power is less than the opponent. And here he lost to a nice Eden. Eden with power huger than most of his own. And also we have a huge fire totem here with 4 stars. That's why he lost. The second fight was kind of interesting. So he fought with Cheryl. She has a better totem. And somehow he won. Don't ask me how it happened, why it happened. The only thing I can notice here is that he's got a really nice Hyperion. So Hyperion can heal and also can deal a nice amount of damage. So let me show you the fights real quick about Termit because it's kind of something. You'll see how Totem really affects the fight. Even if you play a counter element, it's not as easy if your opponent has a much larger Totem. And the second fight was probably about Eden. So remember that the Eden's choice of dig can decide the entire game. So if you have a bad dig or if you get stunned and can't dig, that can be a problem. And here we see that actually Termit managed to remove the opponent nicely. He digged enemy Eden, as a result no effective damage at the end game, and he managed to get this. Then goes Alex versus Shan, so it's a Titan fight, another Earth versus Earth. You see that Araji dealt more damage because we have actually killing Earth teams, right? And I can't say that his totem is better, so anyway, nice work, Alex. Then 2 attacks from Vladimir plus Dragon. So it's a combination of water teams who started and finished fire teams. The opponent has much higher power. Also, I can't compare these totems. It's hard to do that. Still, Eden is effective against water, you remember, so it wasn't super easy here. And against Augustina, same thing happens. So if you play a hybrid team, then at least one of your characters deals effective damage. And once again, I can't compare their totems, so just I'll show you real quick some fights. And let's see what happened here, really quick. So that's one of the fights with Vladimir. Both times he managed to remove enough enemy titans. As a result, when the titans are less than 2 of each element, you can't use your totem. At hybrid teams, it means you need to remove just 1 titan of fire here, and he managed to remove 2. That's why Dragon just came and finished both targets without huge problems. Okay, so after that we have Max versus Cheryl. His power is slightly less, that was a Mage Academy. And the opponent once again he used Yasmine against Kark, it kind of works, but Hellios is not very effective here. So Max just punishes for weak characters. Typical Kark idea is to remove weak characters from the opponent. So let's really quick check this fight and see why I say about Kark. So when Kark hits, then you need to survive. If you don't survive, then you have problems. You see that Yasmine is dead, and here we go. Dimon versus Augustina is also a fight against less power. The concept was nice, so Yasmine with Cain, protected by Cornelius. Cornelius is buffed by Celeste, so it's kind of protection into Yasmine from mages. Looks logical. So we have a player, Alex, who also uses this idea, but at this particular scene, the problem was Dimon didn't play Yasmine at all, but instead he played mages. So that was my advice at situations when you face healers. just swap your Yasmine into a mage, let's say. Because Hellios kind of defends from physical attacks, and here you see that he burns the enemy Yasmine, and the fight went smoothly. Almost smoothly, I would say, because we have seen some episodes with Cornelius still, but Cornelius could not decide the fight here. You see that he protected with Axel, probably. So Cornelius can't kill Hellios, just like that. No, that was Merlin. Okay, that was Merlin. The next scene is Dimon versus Toby. This fight was fire versus earth, but the problem is the enemy totem is too high in level, and that's why he could not go through. I will not show this fight. Juan versus Marco is why I did it. Just because we have no characters who fight with earth. Just 0 characters. So it's a water versus fire versus water, but not against earth. Then we have here situation again, so I use just weak points. Here we have Araji, but Araji is not super strong, and the totem is slightly better. So Tator managed to remove Maurizio, actually. Then we have Pierre versus Lucette. Here we have water versus fire, has a nice totem. And Eden was the main damage dealer because Eden versus water and other just slow. Another fight of Pierre. Same idea, so if the opponent has Eden, then Eden is effective. Others are not really effective. But what I want to highlight is that he managed to remove the opponent with a higher power, but with a worse totem. Then goes Tator. Tator just finished Ariel here. Then goes Dirty Dozen against Reach. So another fight which I wanted to show you. We have weaker team of Dirty Dozen in power, but it is very effective against the opponent anyway. So here we have a hybrid team. I would say it's fire. The totem is slightly better, and still the power is slightly less. But if you collect a water mostly team, then only Eden can disturb you in general. Of course, the totem too. So that's how the fight went, and Dirty Dozen removed Reach kind of fast. Yeah. Then goes finishing operation here, just +2. I will not show it. Max went straight into Reach, and here we had an opposite problem. So the power of Max is higher than Reach. The problem is that actually the opponent has heal. So if you don't heal the opponent very fast, then Martha does her tea party and she just comes back the entire army. So the left team relies on Jorgen to block the opponent, to just stop him from casting something, and to remove him kind of fast, while he is vulnerable. And really, he managed to remove Faceless at least once. The problem is, if the opponent managed to survive, also remember that Jorgen redirects damage into Martha, which I don't say it's effective. Often Martha can survive alone. She can heal herself. And you see that we don't have enough healing at the left side. So we have Kark trying to lifesteal, but the right team is healed, and as a result, Max lost. So that's the stats of characters. You see that the difference is not really huge, but still the composition with Martha is better in survivability, while composition with Jorgen helps you to finish faster. And then goes Selene. So Selene managed to kill 2 opponents with higher power. You see this time I could not control anything at that time already, so Selene just picked the opponents herself. She plays a Keira Yasmine team, and what I really like, she added Isaac here. So she saw, okay, we have an opponent with Orion. What can I do with Orion? Probably play Isaac. So I'll show you the fights of Selene against Ariel, against Steve J, and that will be the end of our attack strategy. So you see that, first of all, Keira is dead because she doesn't have resurrection. Yasmine managed to remove her kind of fast. At the same time, opponent could not just use all his forces properly, because his hero died, and as a result, no extra damage effect. And after that, her own Keira just went through the defenses of the opponent. And the last fight also Selene won. I wouldn't send her here, because we have Keira, Yasmine, and Hellios who typically die at Corvus, so it's a strange decision. And also Morrigan counters Esteros, so actually that was her own choice. At the same time, Steve J has more power, but she wanted to try, and surprisingly, she won. So maybe only I'm surprised, but actually that was kind of impressive. So check this out. The totem is here, so you can't just go and dance below the totem. He hits hard several characters. Hellios is almost dead, but manages to survive. Then the totem is gone, and while the totem is gone, Selene can go on attacking. Meanwhile, the opponent's Yasmine is dead because she attacked Hellios. And at the end game, Yasmine is dead on the totem, just as I expected. The problem is Keira hits only one target, that's why he's not punished by the totem. So that's how Selene managed to win with her team against a stronger opponent. Okay, so that's all what I wanted to tell about our attack plan. Let's now check the defense plan, and I would like to highlight several players here. So I will not show you all the fights. That's the fight of Peter versus me. You see that he has got a better totem. Then goes Octavius versus Dirty Dozen. He plays Earth versus Water. Nice Earth, I would say. Then Toby went straight into Termite. So Termite, it's kind of Earth versus Water fight with a better totem from Toby. Then same about Dragon. Dragon also has better totem and the right element. Sorry for noises. Yeah, Toby has better totems than Dragon and the right element. And Peter versus Highlander. That's the fight which I wanted to show you. So actually, obviously Peter has more power, no doubt. He plays a Maya team which is able to kill a lot of characters. Celeste buffs Maya, really nice. Jorgen also benefits from magic buffs from Celeste and blocks the opponent from getting energy. Esteros and Marcia nicely absorb damage from Orion. So that's his team composition, and actually Peter is one of main reasons why I didn't even try to get Citadel. Because I don't have resources to kill this team, my Isaac is not good enough, my Sebastian just dies from Maya, and that's how I lose to Peter all the time. Anyway, check this out. So the opponent stopped energy gain of Highlander. At the same time, Maya does her best to deal damage with her roots, with her abilities. And you see this amount of pure damage, which just removes everything on this way. Yes, so Maya managed to kill this team, and Highlander could not strike back because of Jorgen. Next we have just a killing operation of Fire versus Earth with a stronger totem. Here we have Fire versus Fire, so it's a close fight, but still you see that Hyperion fight was actually here, and the opponent has more power, including Hyperion, that's why actually win. And next goes Shan versus Alex. So Shan versus Alex at Barracks, you see that Shan plays a team with Orion, Aurora, Hellios, Dorian, and Sebastian, and Biscuit. So I would like to highlight the thing that Shan actually can play several teams. His real annoying thing is this cane. So he has a very powerful cane. And that's why if you play against the opponent who relies on physical damage just like me, just like Alex, then the problem is just you face huge amount of dodges. Also remember that Aurora casts multiple dodges additionally, and that's why he couldn't do anything. So fortunately the jump was not into Aurora but into Hellios, and still that was not good enough. Also I would like to remind you that if Yasmine gets dodge, so she doesn't crit, so she doesn't burn, so it's kind of counterproductive sometimes, but still the amount of magical damage is enough to remove Yasmine. And yes, I would like to highlight that Cornelius managed to remove at least one character before he died, but still that was not good enough. So Yasmine is still alive. We have a huge amount of dodges, so she wasn't burnt at start. And the Hellios is no more, but nobody can go through Aurora. So Shan has a super-Aurora and he plays also a super-Dante team. Super-Dante team killed me. Super-Aurora team, just shown here, killed physical team with Alex. Then we have SauL. So SauL played the mage team against Yasmine, Keira. Actually, I will not show you this fight because the opponent here just get burnt on healers, nothing special. Then we have against Tiara Guire, so SauL has more power still. Once again, he burns Yasmine, not as fast, yes, I agree, but still he can do it. I'll show you real quick. So that's the fight. Yasmine is nicely improved here, so it's not as fast as it could be. So she jumps straight into healers, but healers is healed with Celeste. You see that actually with that healing, Yasmine can't finish him in time, and a ton of magic damage straight into this team. And Yasmine is really vulnerable to magic damage. So just like that. Augustina versus Dimon is just fire versus fire. Obviously, we have some Hyperion composition, Raji. Okay, let me show you this fight anyway. So against one, that's obvious. Against Dimon, it's kind of entertaining at least. So that's how the fight went. That the Raji died really fast. Against Juan, that's the situation. Then went Shan versus me, actually. So Shan versus me is another fight which is crazy because we have 300,000 difference in power, but he has a crazy Dante, and I can do nothing to that. So Dante with Cain counters my entire physical part of this team. Only Celeste can do some damage, but that's not enough to kill Dante at all. So let me show you this fight. It ends real quick. I would like to highlight that actually I assumed that he will attack me. So I tried to set Axel into Celeste, no one-shots allowed, then Oliver into Isaac, extra armor and healing. Here we have just nice dodge, and two characters who can get extra armor. But I'll show you that it actually did not work properly anyway, and just Dante kills me really fast. So it's a Dante crit team. He benefits from both buffs. Here we have improved crit chance for the entire team. Sebastian also adds pure damage when you crit. And Dante just removed two of my characters who were kind of protected. Not a big deal to kill others, especially when you are buffed by Nebula. So Shan kills me kind of often. Rich removed Selene, so it's a Kark pack who played against Selene. That was not super easy anyway, but still that was kind of fast. Okay, so let's show this. Kark was almost dead, but nobody can kill him entirely. So if he can lifesteal long enough, if he gets healed with Celeste, then just not enough resources to kill this Kark. He is much stronger, obviously, than the right team, that's why he wins. Next we have Rich versus Dragon, kind of same story here. Godal versus Termite, Lars Krista versus Yasmine, she gets burned and no damage here. Godal versus Juan, kind of same story. Next we have Samantha versus Alex, it's a stronger fire team versus Earth. Here we have again fire versus water. It looks counterproductive, but if you compare the power of Eden and all these titans, then only Sigurd can do something and maybe Hyperion. So Eden just crashed everything here at fight against Pierre. Okay, I'll show you this fight because it's kind of entertaining because we have kind of counter team of a wrong element, but it still works. Yes. Here we go. Yes, obviously her power was much higher, that's why she did it. Then we have a fight with Selene at Gates of Nature, nothing special. Actually, stronger Eden kills weaker Eden. Cheryl versus Max once again, so we have stronger team versus weaker team. And about Steve J, so I would like also to highlight Steve J because he played several teams. So yes, I understand that he has more power, but check this out. So Steve just went to the next level. I tried to fight with 3 types of tanks and 3 types of super titans. Steve has just 2 totems and 2 special teams. That's just perfect. So let me show you how he managed to win here. Against Earth he plays fire team with his totem. Nice choice, obviously. And when he faces an opponent who plays not water but not earth but water, he switches straight into earth. So he has several developed teams and totems. Yes, only 1 star, but he thought, okay, that's still better than I fight my element, which is not effective. So this water team is effective against fire and against water, but not against earth. And that's exactly what he used here. So he played an earth team with 0 effective damage against him and easy win. Then goes Dimon versus Lord of Cats, just a story about Aurora with Kane. So what happens? Same happens with Shan. If you play Yasmine against Aurora with Kane, then you get stuck on Aurora and you can forget about the victory really often. Let me show you the reason and how the fight goes. So check this out. Yasmine is almost charged. We have already some triple dodge buff. Yasmine jumps straight into Aurora. She tries hard to kill her, but we have healing from Celeste. As a result, she is not in time. You remember that we have priority of control from the left player. And Yasmine can't finish here. So yes, that was really close. We almost got the opponent. We even removed Aurora. But at this point, the amount of damage is still not enough. So nice work from Yasmine. Anyway, I really appreciate this work. But still with Jorgen's debuff, with the roots of Maya, he could not survive. And with Satori, the story was kind of same. So also we have Yasmine, that's a weaker Yasmine actually. Also he has Jorgen, his own Jorgen, but this just scenario is pretty same. So Yasmine gets stuck on Aurora for a long time. She can't go through her for a long time. As a result, other characters suffer. At this particular situation, Yasmine was not as powerful. That's why she just didn't finish the job. And Tator was removed kind of fast. Okay, so next we have Vito. Vito is another player which I would like to highlight here. So one of the players which I avoided because he plays a nice stack with Sebastian, so you can't debuff him. At the same time he plays Jorgen, so kind of help against other really fast casting characters. We have Aurora with Kane once again. So Vito relies on Maya. The problem with Vito is that he plays a slow team, which is hard to go through because of super-Aurora, with healing of Celeste, obviously. So Dirty Dozen also plays a slow team who tries to remove everything with roots. But you remember that the cast priority is at the left-hand side, and as a result, the Dirty Dozen's team just can't be good enough. So it's slow, even with Jorgen's debuffs. Almost got Celeste, but no. So that's how he removed Dirty Dozen. And yes, that's the patronages of Vito. I don't fight with Vito because I play a physical team and I often get stuck on Aurora. Okay, so next we have the fight with Dimon. The scenario is pretty same, but this time you see that no need for Sebastian because the opponent doesn't play Jorgen. As a result, only Jorgen here and nice healing. That's the team which is typically played by Vito, so last time he countered enemy Jorgen with Sebastian. This time he doesn't need it, so just went through. And that's the reason why they didn't get the max points. So Naza lost to Max von Biden. You see that he didn't protect his mages properly. He used Satori Orion huge damage, but Kark punishes for characters who are not protected. And that's exactly mages, because mages are not nicely protected, Satori and Orion I mean, from Kark. Let me show you the fight, let me show you how it went. And the exact reason of defeat, I think, is wrong patronage of his characters. Satori already died once. You see that the weak characters also died here, but at the second cast no more Orion. And Satori is dead too. So after you get 0 damage dealers, you get slowed down and can't finish Kark in time. So that's how the fight went with Max, and I really appreciate that Max managed to win the fight where obviously the opponent didn't think they can lose. But you see that it is possible. Yeah, it is possible. And the last fight was again mages versus something, so I'll show you his patronage power just for comparison. And the Naza versus Vladimir was kind of easier because here we have pure / physical damage based on Yasmine. Here we have Hellios, who burns Yasmine often. This time Yasmine lived slightly longer, but still she can't survive a lot of magic damage. So that's what I wanted to show you about Guild War. Once again, this is a nice fight. I really appreciate what happened here. So once again, I'll show you the situation. The only defeat of KillArmy was at our citadel at Karkpek, and our plan was to avoid Vito, Shan, Octavius, and Peter.